Hi Flosstube, it's Lori McCleary, Texstylust. Welcome to the 9th day of Vlogmas. Hi Flosstube. So today's video is also going to be very short and sweet. I had some appliances that I ordered a month ago. They were delivered and installed today. The appliances that were in my house were there when it was built in 1995, something like this. They were very old. They were on their last leg. I've been wanting to replace them for a long time, so I took advantage of the sales before the Black Friday, and I now have a new dishwasher and a new microwave, and I'm very excited. The range is going to take a little bit longer. I think it's going to be here the week of Christmas, but that's okay because as long as it's here before Christmas, I'm fine with that. So I actually have appliances that are all the same color in my kitchen, which will be wonderful. And so today was another really busy day without me getting anything done that I had hoped to get done. So no work on the quilt. I had to unload everything under the sink and make sure their area was clean, and the same with the countertops. And I just now sort of got everything put back together. I have been doing a little bit of decorating on the Hoosier. I pulled down several things that were in my kitchen up on top of the cupboards that were kitchen related. I didn't pull down everything. I kind of pulled down things that were the galvanized tin or red and white. So that's what's up there now. I'm not entirely happy with it, but I really haven't pulled out my Christmas decorations yet. I have like 2 tubs that are just for kitchen, so I imagine it's going to get rearranged many times until I'm satisfied. But today I thought we would go ahead and do the little Christmas trees. So I'm going to show you how I fluff my trees, and it doesn't matter if it's big or small, it's the same process. And then we're going to go outside, and I'm going to show you how I lightly dusted these. So I need to get that done before it gets dark. It gets dark very quickly here. Lots of people have been commenting on my beautiful sunsets. Those are actually sunrises. So the back of my house faces the east, and no matter what time of year, even though it moves across the horizon, I get really beautiful sunrises. But the sun goes over the house like this. So I get sun all day in my big windows, but then it drops behind one of the 3 sisters, and when it goes behind the mountain, it gets dark very quick. So if you're ever curious, those are sunrises, sunrises, not sunsets. So here's one of the little rumpled trees that came in the estate Christmas pack, and it's not too bad. I've actually started pulling out a few of them, pulling out the branches and straightening them, and then I thought, oh, I really should just show you. So this one looks like I can't tell, it looks like it might have been maybe even a tree topper. But basically what I do is I start at the bottom, and oh, by the way, I wear gloves. Normally I just put on like, the really thin latex gloves. I have a box of them that I use when I work on my sewing machines, but I'm completely out. So these are my garden gloves, anything that's going to protect your hands, because you would not believe the cuts that the plastic or whatever it is that they use to make these. It will make 1,000 tiny little nicks in your skin, and your hands will feel like fire once you're done, even with something this small. So basically I just start at the bottom, and I start straightening everything out and spacing them out evenly. You may go back and undo them, and then you just go up to the next level. And you'll find sometimes that a branch you think that is near the bottom is actually near the top. It's not a hard process. It really doesn't take a lot of time. This is really fun just to put on some holiday music or, whatever it is you like. It's kind of like, for me, it's like wrapping. It's a fun task made fun by the other things that you're doing. So maybe you need some cocoa, maybe you need a glass of wine, whatever your jolly holiday liquid is, imbibable is. And then you just kind of pull all of this out, and it will make such a difference. Even things that look like they're beyond repair start to look new again. So I'm going to finish pulling this out, and I may speed this part up. So I'm just going to keep doing this, and I will meet you back here in just a minute. Okay, so my little tree has been fluffed, and I'm just kind of looking to see. It looks like there's a few that are still kind of bent in there. And I think we're ready to go give it a snow dusting. So I'm going to pause the video and go get set up, and I'll meet you outside. Okay, so I've put it in a box to kind of contain the overspray. Put down whatever you need to put down. Also, just like I can make sure that it doesn't spray up into my camera. And I'm going to kind of test which way a breeze might be blowing, because I don't want it to blow back. And then I'm holding the can, I would say 2.5 to 3 feet away, and just give it a little shot. I need to move because the breeze is blowing differently. Oh, I got a little bit more than I intended, but that's okay. This tree will be very snowed. And that was it. Sorry for moving the camera around so much. The hardest thing about this was getting the lid off of the spray paint. So I'm going to let it sit here and dry, and I'll touch it up again if I think it needs it when I come back out. And there we go. Okay, so let's look a little bit at what I've got so far. I am not sure if I like it decorated open or closed. I really kind of like the look of it closed, but this is nice too. I haven't really unpacked all of my Christmas decorations. Actually, I haven't really unpacked any. And I do have a couple of tubs, as I mentioned, for the kitchen, so I'm pretty sure this is going to get changed. But let's look at what we have so far. So over here, I put this tree up here to kind of give it a transition between the two pieces of furniture, and it's very sparsely decorated, but more will go in there. This little guy right here, I don't recall the name of the artist. It's hand painted. I have two. I have one for Christmas, I have one for Thanksgiving and this one. And I'll put the information down below. They're really great to work with. Over here, of course, you saw that earlier in the Vlogmas. This bowl, this yellowware bowl, is from England, so it actually predates the yellowware, the American yellowware. In there, I have the hand mixer that I used when I was a girl, and some cinnamon sticks, some towels. And here is a beautiful bowl from Amana, the Amana Colonies. I picked that up at the general store. Not the one that is in Maine Amana, it's the other general store. And in here, I have some of my red Mercury and kind of a spruce green colored mercury glass. Here I have some decorations that I haven't hung yet. A couple of those were from my friend Sue. There's our little Christmas tree. Doesn't it look lovely? That's in a vintage, or antique actually, dough bowl. Over here I have another old dough bowl, and that's filled with the dried oranges and the dried pear with cloves that I did last Vlogmas. Here I have a couple of vintage canisters and a vintage canning jar. Up here is an antique spice grinder. Here is an old grinder that again was the one we used when I was a girl. And here's some antique spice. I think it's flour, salt, and pepper, which I thought was unusual, but it kind of makes sense if you make gravy all the time. These are about the same era as the Hoosier. Up here I have a vintage egg basket, and this is you juice fruit and pit cherries, and that was my grandmother's triple sifter. Up here is another antique pottery bowl. That is a salt box. And that jar is newer. That was a handcraft from a friend that I used to work with. And there's another tree. And this is a coffee grinder. I'm sorry, I'm standing on my tippy toes. I also purchased that in the Amana colonies. And I just put the garland on top, and this is the garland that I made last year. Not the greenery, but the oranges and the cranberries. And they were on the Hutch last year. I had originally intended to put the whole garland outside for the birds after the season, but it dried so beautifully that I just kept it, and it looks wonderful. So there's the Hutch so far. It's gonna change. We'll see how it works, but it looks beautiful for today. Okay, we got the trees done, or at least the flocking of the trees done. I still am going to do the demo on how to make the folded paper trees. I also had a request to show my stitchy spot and to show how I stitch in hand using the sewing method, and I will also do that, but right now my stitchy spot is inhabited by Fiona, and she looks pretty comfy, so I don't really want to bother her. So it will be an upcoming one. I also pulled out a lot of my books regarding potpourri and scented and that sort of thing. I'm just going to share these with you, and then later I'm going to go through them and see if I can find us some more simmer pot recipes. So many of these I've had, except for one of them, I've had since I was probably in my 20s. And do you remember Oxmoor House, where you could give a penny for 10 books, but you had to buy, I don't know, 3 books, 5 books in the next 3 years, some ridiculous thing like that? Well, I took advantage of that quite often, and I acquired and accumulated a lot of books around things that I really loved, like knitting and crocheting and quilting and home decorating, including things like what I'm going to show you. So one of these, I love this book. It's Cherchez book of dried flowers, fragrance, and potpourri. And it's this book right here. As I said, I've had this book a really long time. See if it does have a date. I don't see it, but I'm going to go through here. I'm going to find us some good recipes, and oh, it does have a date. I just don't have my glasses on, so I can't see it. Okay, so there's one. One of the original, you can tell, Martha Stewart's. And I haven't looked at this book in a long time, and I'm kind of excited to sit down with it tonight and go through it. But I know that there are some absolutely amazing things in here. Another one that was a favorite is making potpourri colognes and soaps. And I think we might find something really yummy in here as well. And then this book is a more recent publication, but it's called Everlastings, and it's how to grow, harvest, and create with dried flowers. And you remember everything Baby's Breath? I still love Baby's Breath. I think it's so beautiful, and I think it's great to decorate with. So I'm going to take a look through this too and pull out some things for us to use for an upcoming video. So until then, I will see all of you tomorrow. Happy holidays. Bye-bye.